Hi, it's Reason here.
And Vice, and I have some words to say.
Yay.
Hey, you calm yourself down over there.
Yes, ma'am.
And, as we're going to start this off, is that these are our own opinions, not yours, so back off.
In a nice little bow. Alright, let's get this episode started. In here, and I'm those new gummy vitamins that make it so much easier to be healthy.
Hi, I'm Vice, and those gummy vitamins, well, they're a lot of years old.
Ew. Ew.
You know, whenever they stick together, they're not good.
It's a lot of gummy. And I guess that means welcome back to the AniVid Fanfiction Book Club, Season 2! Yay, a real episode, not whatever last thing was.
Yeah. Well, last thing was, like, whenever we first started Season 1.
Yeah, but we had technical difficulties, if you remember.
True.
Alright, so we are now here to discuss the story from last time. That being... Why don't you take it away, Vice, considering how this is more or less your story?
You're the only one I want. Delirious X Vanoss.
Yes it was. So yeah, it was a story. Honestly, I had no idea what was going to happen. And I was still thrown for a couple of loops from time to time. I'll say that much.
Yeah. It was, it started off normal. You know, as normal does. And then it just went, woo, have fun.
Not normal. Look at that.
Look at that. You can, mix two things. And one thing that I wanted to point out is that, something I wanted to say from last time is that whenever you have stories with real people, taking them and putting them into situations like this, it makes it feel like they're fake people, like they don't exist in this world.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's a work of fiction. I mean, it's not like, again, I think that what should be said about it is that these are more avatars than the actual people. I mean, I'm sure you know them pretty well because of all that, but at the end of the day, there are more or less avatars of the characters they have to play for these YouTube channels.
Yeah.
But I don't think that...
If anything, it's like if anything, a lot of different fan fictions that go with A&E YouTubers, they mostly like to pick up like their GTA character and just have that their lives instead of their actual lives.
Yeah, this one was definitely... It was real life, and then it wasn't at the end. Which we'll get to.
It basically went from real life into Delirious's mindset.
Yeah, that's really what it seemed. That's really what it was. I guess that we should talk about the storyline, really. When it first started out being that it was just a regular game, yet everyone was really mean to Delirious. And I mean, I haven't seen that many videos, but I'm fairly certain they're not that mean to him normally, right?
It depends. Delirious is one of the louder ones, but he doesn't let things get to him like it did in the story. Tyler is Wildcat is a very angry person.
Okay, so that was fit. Okay, interesting. Because as it goes in the story... Okay. Oh, you were saying?
Okay, so basically what it is that Marcel, or basically I do work, and I am Wildcat, Tyler, they are the ragers. Like, they get pissed off very easily. So, like, Delirious being loud, it's not... Like, you could see them getting mad at that. Getting loud and hurting all their ears. You can see it.
Okay. Again, I had no idea what it was, because, again, I don't know, I don't watch these people at all. Like, I've seen, like, only what Vice has made me watch, and sometimes I don't even finish those videos, and then she gets mad at me for it. again, I'm not the biggest fan of, it's not that I dislike gaming YouTubers, I just watch other people on YouTube. And before anyone goes in the comments, no, I don't watch vlog people either. Those people I actually don't like. But we don't talk about those. We're not talking about that. No, we're not talking about that. We're moving along from here. The point I was trying to make was that Tyler, he was a pretty big dick.
Yeah, he can be one, or as they all like to call each other, or every other time, is fuckboy, is the word they prefer.
Oh my god. What children?
They call each other all the time, and it's funny.
Alrighty, you're gonna notice a quick change because there's been technical difficulties. There we go.
Because your stuff sucks.
Hey, this could easily not be my fault. We don't know at the moment.
Well, I could send you a picture of what my screen looks like right now.
I don't know what that's supposed to do with anything.
And it says all clear on my end, so fuck you.
Well, anyways, let's go back to what we were saying. Alright, yeah. So, yeah, there's going to be a noticeable difference because of technical difficulties. Hopefully everyone's okay with that, but unfortunately we're going to have to move on from here. And so, as we were saying, that in the main story, what happened was Delirious did something, killed them, something happened basically in the game that caused them to all get killed. There was a big sound, and Tyler, in the usual fashion as it seems, got mad and said some pretty horrible things to him. Only after... Yes.
Normal, he doesn't normally say, really bad thing. It's just Delirious, you idiot, or something like that. Or shut the fuck up, Delirious is mostly the broad of that.
Yes, but it's never as vicious as it gets in the story.
No, it's never as vicious as it gets in the story.
Because as it goes, Delirious apparently starts to self-inflict harm to himself on his face and on his body, all over the place, and it's not pretty. He's not doing well. And basically what ends up happening is that Vanoss ends up going to go see him to make sure that he's okay. He goes to see him for 3 to 5 weeks, but in Vanoss's head, he decides he's going to stay there for 2 months.
Surprise!
The thing that was interesting to me was the fact that when Vanoss meets up with Delirious, is that Delirious is still wearing, he's wearing the avatar mask that he's known for wearing, the Jason mask. That translated over into this, into real life kind of thing, where it's what Delirious wears in GTA is actually what it wears in real life, and there's actually an important reason what it seems like in, later on that comes in the story. And for the most part, everything seems pretty okay. Those two of them get into the relationship pretty quickly in the story, as we realize that the relationship is only a small factor of what this author really seemed to have planned. And basically what happens, everyone goes to meet them, and be happy for them, only to realize that, Tyler's still being a complete dick. And this is when we realize that, technically speaking, in the story, Tyler apparently had feelings for Delirious, that he wanted to have Delirious all to himself. And I was going to ask you, is that a common ship, or is that just that surprised you even?
No, that's a common ship. The ships within Delirious are Cartoons and Delirious, Vanoss and Delirious, Omwrecker and Delirious, and Wildcat and Delirious.
Yeah.
The most two common I've seen are H2O Vanoss and Delirious.
Yeah, those are the ones that you have told me are the most common. I just wasn't sure about this other one. That threw me out of nowhere, because it was Mini Lad and Wildcat, right? That's the main ship with him, right?
Yeah.
Which, later on in the story, that becomes a thing, because of the fact that
one thing that I want to bring up, though, is that within the story, you changed it. You basically said that whenever Wildcat and Minnie started to show up a lot more, they were actually already together. then later on, you basically went, oh no, they're not together, they're together now.
What it seemed like to me was that they were acting like they were together, but not quite there yet. Like, there was nothing admitted, but everyone was looking like, all right, when are you two just going to say it, kind of thing. I thought that's kind of what it translated like to me.
Okay, like to me, it was basically just like, oh yeah, they've already like said their feelings and stuff like that. You know, the ship has sailed. And
then later on, it gets revealed that, oh no, now it's sailed. That makes sense. Yeah, no, I didn't read it that way, but I mean, people read things different way, and with this rate that we were reading it. And another point I wanted to make about Tyler is that it seemed that the author had an intention to make Tyler like the main villain of all of this, but I feel like they might have gotten some backlash from like Wildcat fans, and they were forced to make a decision to move on. I wasn't sure if that was the case. It just seemed like that to me, where afterwards we see this whole thing with an arc of this story that's devoted to some crazy stalker cashier chick that I was kind of surprised about. I don't know enough about obviously those two. I don't know if there's I don't know anything about the Banana Bus crew that much, so I don't know if that's like an on-running joke or some kind of other reference, or if this was an author bit. But it seemed like the author probably originally wanted to keep Tyler as the villain, only to end up having to change it because of the backlash they received from it. I don't know. What can you tell me at all, or is that just like an author's decision that you saw?
Author's decision, because there's multiple different stories, and most of the ones that I've seen, because again, I read a lot of fan fiction. It doesn't matter what it is, I just read it, unless it's bad. But like a most known villain, a lot of people like to make one person really a villain in different stories, is sea nanners and stuff like that. That's the one that I see mostly as a villain, but other than that, this was an author's choice, because in other ones I've read, I have not seen Wildcat
makes sense
as a big villain or anything like that.
Makes you think they don't probably like Tyler all that much.
Well, you know, again, as our say this season.
To each their own, I guess. Another point I wanted to make, has Delirious ever made a reference to a pit bull or anything, or is that another author choice?
No, it was one of his Q&As. He talked about a dog he had, but I think the dog was a boy, but it was a pit bull. Alright,
yeah, because in this story, Delirious has a pit bull, and her name is Baby, and she's very important to the story and Delirious's mental health, as we see later on, because what happens is, you know, we have the arc where first Delirious meets Vanoss, then they get together, then Tyler comes in to try to ruin everything, and he actually steals Baby to cause problems. They lose Baby, or Tyler loses Baby, which is the pit bull, and then Delirious, he's distraught, and he's pissed about losing his dog, which, let's be real, we'd all be pissed if some asshole decided to, one, ruin a relationship, and two, steal our dog. I'm pretty sure Vice would be beating ass, right?
Oh, I'd kill.
Exactly. So then after a couple days of searching, they end up the baby is found at a kennel, and then we see that the cashier, register attendant, the customer service person, ends up starts stalking, and she legit follows Delirious, breaks into his house, says all this shit about how it needs to be her. She's a really scary fangirl. It's legit, it's terrifying. And
I'm pretty sure a lot of YouTubers have probably faced that before.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's creepy. Although, if they did end up having to change Tyler from the villain, it was a smart choice in the way that they moved the arc around Baby to make it from one to the other, so that way they introduced the character not so blatantly out of nowhere, and they had a good choice. I'm not sure if they did that, if they had to. If they had to change it, then it was a smart way to change it. If they were going to do that from the beginning, it was still a smart way to change it, is what I'm saying.
A good transition.
Yeah, to change the villains around. The next thing that happens, I got a little things are kind of blurry there because it's been a minute since I read this. It's been a minute since I've read this particular section of the story, because it was it went from high intensity to this low intensity to back up to high intensity. So that's that middle lost part. Basically, what happens next is that Delirious is out in the woods, or he's out and about, like in the middle of a freaking blizzard, and he, oh, geez, I completely forgot a very important scene is that Delirious, this is early on in the story, he actually attempts to kill himself because of, just his own mental instability and his sadness, that kind of thing. And it goes back to things that aren't exactly... It gets expressed bigger and later on in the story, which is where I was getting back into, is that the next arc and the final arc is basically, it's Among the Sleep, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone is taken into the Among the Sleep world.
Yeah, which is basically one of Delirious's biggest Let's Plays.
Mm-hmm. This is I figured it had to do with the fact that this is his most famous Let's Play and also one of his favorites, I'm sure. And
I think a lot of people also, that's how a lot of people found H2O Delirious. I found him myself by Outlast.
Makes sense.
And everybody finds their own.
Finds the YouTubers on their own.
Yeah, and stuff like that. But yeah, like I watched his Among the Sleep too. It's really good. He screams a lot.
So be warned, if no one has seen it yet, to be ready for broken earbuds and eardrums. But the next thing, basically what happens, I'm not sure how exactly they get to the point where they because I'm pretty sure that the author wrote it in, but it was like a small detail that got slipped in. But basically, they aren't physically there, but they're mentally there. But like the damage can be very real to them, basically. But there's like this teddy. So basically, there are 3 objects that are the key to his sanity, and it's actually told by cartoons about what's going on with Delirious, because he starts going like really like off the wall, and they don't know what to do with it, but they know that cartoons has known him. So they were like, oh, let's talk to him, he knows. And they said that there's 3 keys to it. The first one is a teddy bear, which I'm pretty sure is a reference to his love of teddy bears into Among the Sleep. Then the second thing is baby, and the third thing is his hockey mask. And I'm fairly certain at this point of the story, the hockey mask was taken off, right? Because he was comfortable around everyone. So that's probably one of the reasons that he ends up going off the wall. And I'm not entirely sure, but it feels like because the cashier woman comes back in the picture, but she comes very much like a construct of his own mind, where she's like pushing him, like it's his own destructive subconscious to destroy everything around him. Because
I saw that too, because it's just like that was like really, really pushy, and it's just like, sure, there are people like that, but like, whenever it went into like the blizzard
where everything was like all blurred and crazy, and she was just standing there and like watching over him, I'm fairly certain that it was a construct of his mind to make him more destructive, because he was fighting his own like intentions to destroy, to kill, to hurt, as it keeps coming up throughout the story. Like we see like echoes of his own mind telling him to do, bad things, not only to himself but to everyone around him.
Yeah.
But, the Among the Sleep portion, I'm not sure, because I've never played the game, I've never seen any Let's Plays. How would you say they did on that part?
Really good, really good. They had they had both of the different monsters, which, in itself, that game is its own little thing on its own. It's a great storyline and other stuff like that. So bringing Delirious, which basically whenever they're in the middle of it, turns them into babies or toddlers and stuff like that, because the different age limits that they have, it turns them into babies and toddlers in it.
That was funny. That made me laugh so hard. I was like, oh fuck, they're all dead.
It did really good on that, because whenever you play Among the Sleep, you are a toddler or a 2-year-old baby.
Yeah, you're tiny, and they have to figure it out. I did appreciate that they kept their mental capacity, though. They weren't like literally 2-year-olds trying to figure this out. No, they were adults that happened to be in the bodies of 2-year-olds, so they weren't like spitting and crying and being all like bad for this. The big thing was that I thought it was funny that it's like, oh yeah, we're basically at the bottom story, and to save Delirious, you have to get to the attic. And it's like, yeah, of course we do.
Yeah.
How could you not?
And then Teddy comes in. It's just like, okay, I like you, Teddy.
Yeah, Teddy, he comes around to help and talks a lot to like let people in on secrets and stuff like that. But also Baby Delirious shows up, which was odd for a minute, because I was like, wait, what the fuck? I thought it was Baby Vanoss, but then I realized, oh, it's probably an Among the Sleep reference, not all the inside jokes.
Yeah.
Although I couldn't help but see Baby Vanoss with the pink overalls and the owl hat. I don't know if the author was seeing that, but that's all I was seeing.
I don't know how old this story is compared to Baby Vanoss, because I think Baby Vanoss was last year.
Okay, well, let's hope that what the author was seeing was the pink overalled owl head baby.
The owl head baby.
But, so what happens basically is they have to travel, they have to work together, as, I'm imagining they were playing basically Among the Sleep to get out, but after a certain point, Baby Vanoss disappears because of the fact that Delirious is now in the mind of his own, like his own construct, his own self is in his own mind.
Did you say Delirious or did you say Vanoss?
I meant Delirious. Baby Delirious disappears because Delirious comes back into his own mind. And that's where they're able to basically, they're able to save him. I'm not going to tell you how they save him, but they get him out of it. And they basically... The thing that was confusing is, they find him in the blizzard, which makes me think that it was, it was... The blizzard was in his own mind, which leads furthermore to that. But then it also seemed very real. It was kind of... It was a bit of a roller coaster at the end there, which I'm pretty sure could have easily been an author choice to make people think. But the thing that I think that made it the most confusing and hard to put a finger on was when they all came back and found themselves on the couch passed out, which I'm not sure how, I don't know if you remember reading anything about them doing that, but I don't, but that could easily be because I said it was high intensity, low intensity, and then very high intensity all of a sudden, so it could have been a detail that was slipped from my mind.
If anything, it could have been that, because I know Delirious was going to where he ran away and then was going to try and go back home, or he got lost and going to try to go back home. Tyler and Evan went out to go and find him, and then Cartoons went, so they might have all, met up in the house and then passed out. To
get into his mind somehow, but... Yeah, I think the point where we see that they were in their mind was at the very least when because they find the teddy bear up in a closet before this stuff really happens, and it starts talking, so I'm pretty sure that they had already passed out before that point, because that would be a talking teddy bear in the real world, which I'm sure is not what the author... I'm pretty sure the author still tried to at least suspend between mental reality and physical reality.
Yeah, it was really good from what they did.
Yeah, there was definitely some really smart choices made. I'll say that much.
Other than little mistakes and author's notes.
Yes, I will take this one. I will translate what Vice is probably thinking is that there were a lot of author's notes in the fact that it was literally after every other chapter, but of the fact I'm going to play devil's advocate, at least the author's notes were consistent. After reading up to chapter 5, I knew that I was going to see an author note after every chapter, which makes sense as to them. Their update schedule wasn't all that clear or better, or not better, but all that set, I'll do it every Thursday and Wednesday kind of thing. But so they basically were oh, let's do this. And probably they're also the kind of author that likes to interact with the people, because they were probably getting lots of comments and people looking at them and being hey, let's be friends kind of thing. But that's mostly me just talking and kind of translating what Vice is thinking, because I don't want Vice to be too mean, but I feel like Vice is still going to say something mean anyways. Isn't that right?
21
out of a 49-part story.
Author's notes. And what you said is a lot nicer. I could go in depth in this shit.
As you can see, Vice has a very particular idea of author's notes. Again, mostly because of the fact that Vice likes to just go straight through, just boom, 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 without having to worry about what's going on with the author, because Vice likes to read completed stories, because Vice doesn't like to wait.
I am not a patient person.
I mean, I'm just worried about the fact of one day we end up getting a story that looks like it's 50, but it's 30 author's notes at the end. I didn't say that. I just cursed us. Oh, Jesus.
You better knock on fucking wood.
Voila. All taken care of.
So the thing is it fake wood? Go fucking knock on a tree.
This is real wood. Are you kidding me? This is an expensive wooden box.
Okay.
It's real wood. It wasn't my door, which is like whatever that is. But we're getting off topic here. But there isn't really much more for this topic. I'd say that there were the story was, if I take it from a face where it's not the characters that I know, because I don't know these characters, I'm taking it from like a perspective of objectively these are new characters because they basically are to me. I don't know anything about these characters and how true they stayed to them. I'd say that the story was pretty good. I think that the start of with the character development was I think that it took, obviously, personally I feel like, you know, it took these characters for granted because people know these characters, so they do have that leeway in that you don't have to worry too much about developing a new character. So obviously that's kind of more or less just like if you were going to write an original story or original character story, that's more one of those things where it's like don't rush too quickly into such a heavy plot without developing and letting us know how the person acts and all that kind of stuff. But I'd say that there were some really smart choices that I really did appreciate. I thought that the use of several symbols and then going back to what you probably know Delirious for and, you know, having like that kind of thing. And I did feel that the use of the romance was limited, but well done enough that it wasn't like such a center point where everything hinged on that. I think the thing that hinged on this story was the fact that Delirious was mentally, you know, not all there.
Yeah, and One thing that I want to add that a lot of people, it seems that they don't understand is a while ago, or like some author's notes that I've read is whenever Evan's girlfriend broke up with him or that shit, all that stuff, I don't all too care. But one thing that you cannot blame is what you have to realize: fan fiction and reality are two separate things. We want them to be one thing. We do. Or we want to be part of that world, or we want them to be part of our world. But you can't mix them together and make it seem like it's that false.
What do you mean? Was it in one of the author's notes you read?
Yeah, basically what it was is that whenever Evan and Sadie, or I don't know her name, broke up, the fans of them were blaming the H2O Vanoss fans.
Wow.
For that to happen. It's two separate things. It's not like, oh, we read fan fiction, we broke up because of that, or like some of the H2O Vanoss fans were like harassing her or something like that. You know, it's just like,
Jesus
if
fuck.
If they're real people, leave them alone. Live in your fan fiction. That's what I do. I love the fan fiction world. I love reading all the different fan fictions I get. Except that one.
We don't talk about that one.
What happened? I think I sneezed.
Don't worry, author. We're not talking about you. I promise. It's the same one we always keep talking about, but we never talk about.
One thing, it's not fan fiction.
No, yeah, exactly. Well, that's why. No, it's not. I'm sure it's not. But
it
yeah,
is.
now I know what you mean is that people don't like to distinguish reality from the fiction because, you know, some people get scary. Some fans out there are just, oh my god. Like
off topic, but whenever Jared, Sam from Supernatural made fun of Justin Bieber, the Bieber fans tried to destroy him.
I remember that.
But this happened like, I don't know, a couple years, a year.
It was like a year and a half ago. Yeah, Justin Bieber tried, or the fans tried it, because Jared called him out on his bullshit.
Jared called Bieber out on his bullshit, and the fans tried to go after Jared himself. But the Supernatural fans are scary, scary people. Look at what we watch. and they just fucking destroyed that.
It was
Plus, you also have the
funny.
Whovians join in, and the Sherlocks. Fans are scary people, but they can't do shit.
They can try, but it's like it depends on how it goes. But yeah, basically, like, people can be really feverish about what they believe in their ships, and it can get scary, especially if you're the target of those things. And I can only imagine what it feels like to be someone like, I don't know, Jack, Septic Guy, or Markiplier, and having to deal with like just weird feverish fans on Twitter tweeting about how, oh, look at this picture I drew of you two together, and it's like really gruesome or something. I don't know. Just it's. Remember, these are humans. These are humans, and I guess with any fandom, though, you're gonna find people that are pretty bad. I mean, we could go on this whole topic about a recent show called Voltron, but if you're in the fandom, you'll know what was going on in the fandom, and it's not good. But I think we're getting off topic here. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything.
The moral of that story is leave real people alone. Keep to your fan fiction.
Keep to your fan fiction, indeed. Well, that was that episode, or that was all right, well, that was that part. Let's move on to the next part, which is talking about our next story.
Which is the Otaku Type-Ohshc?
Well, Ouran High School Host Club.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, chic. As I thought at first, it was funny because I actually said that when I first saw it myself. It is by ShihoFujioka? Yes. It's got...
Sorry about him butchering
I'm bad at these things.
names.
It's got 145k reads, 31 parts, and the summary is as... ShihoFujioka, Haruhi's cousin, is accepted into Ouran Senior Academy by getting a scholarship. He meets up with Haruhi and joins the host club. While he's there, the hosts begin to fall in love with him. Who will be the destined love for this lonely otaku? Boy these are the hashtags. Hashtag boyxboy, drama, Haruhi, Hikaru, Honey Senpai, Kairu, Kyoya, Mori Senpai, OHSHC, Tamaki, and Yaoi. So, I'm going to guess this is a very straight ship story. Very hetero.
So hetero. It seems like they fucking forget about her altogether.
Oh, boy. This is going to be interesting. As I have a feeling that Vice is going to have some things to say because hashtag drama. And as the theme of the season, to each their own.
That's gonna come. I knew that was gonna come and bite me in the ass.
Yes, I kind of want to see what kind of dynamic.
I know.
Mostly because of because of the twins.
Oh yeah,
because the one always gets so jealous of the other in the actual story. So I want to see if they play off that dynamic in this story, which they probably will.
They probably will, and it's just like, who do you think will actually like otakus? We're strange creatures.
Yes, we are. We have some problems.
Giant problems, but I'm actually looking forward to this. Don't fall. Okay, so it doesn't seem like a lot of author's notes, but that's fine.
Are you okay over there, Vice?
I'm fine.
Well, yes, I think that we're going to see a story that has quite an interesting dynamic happen, and, it might be that we see perhaps several instances of, oh, they're with this person, and then they jump over to the next person. I have no idea how long these chapters are yet.
Hopefully they don't jump. I hope they, or, it's just like, oh, let's try to go, like, not dates or anything like that, because even in the real show, they didn't really try to go on real dates with her.
Well, the only person, really, that, reached out to Haruhi was, Tamaki and then one of the twins.
It was Kato, but then she went on the date with Hikaru.
Right, and that was bad.
That was bad. But yeah, so hopefully we see a lot of things. Maybe we might see something he fears or something like that.
We have no idea. We only got so much.
We have no idea. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. Except those author's notes. You know, those kill me inside.
Yes, but we all know what you feel about author's notes. I think you've said it multiple times, and you'll keep saying it.
Then tell people learn.
So yes, that was this episode, everyone. We'll see you at the next one.
Remember this season's
Themin. Yeah, Themin. I'm looking at you Themin.
It's a heathen. Get it right.
You're a Themin. You're a theme demon.
Okay, yeah then. To each their own.